Nebraska football suffers a heartbreaking loss to Iowa, repeating a similar outcome from previous years. Lincoln, Nebraska, KLKN. The Nebraska football team suffered another heart-wrenching one-score loss to Iowa on Friday, falling 13-10 at Kinnick Stadium. This marks the fourth time in the last 6 years Iowa has won with a game-winning field goal as time expired, including 2018, 2019, and 2023. Nebraska had possession with less than a minute left, but Iowa's Max Llewellyn sacked quarterback Dylan Raiola, forcing a fumble that set up a 53-yard field goal by Drew Stevens to win the game. On paper, Nebraska dominated offensively and defensively. The Huskers racked up 334 total yards, while Iowa had just 164. Nebraska rushed for 144 yards, compared to Iowa's 49. The Huskers also tallied 20 first downs, while Iowa managed only 5 and went 0-10 on third downs. However, turnovers proved costly for Nebraska, as Iowa recovered 2 fumbles, finishing with a +2 turnover margin. Raiola completed 22 of 32 passes for 190 yards, but was unable to find the end zone. Receiver Jamal Banks led with 41 yards on 4 catches, and tight end Nate Borkircher added 39 yards on 2 receptions. Running back Emma Johnson led the ground game with 71 yards on 18 carries, and Dante Dowdell scored the only touchdown for the Huskers with 50 yards on 13 carries. Iowa quarterback Jackson Stratton completed 8 of 15 passes for 115 yards and 1 touchdown, with 72 of those yards coming from a touchdown pass to Caleb Johnson in the fourth quarter. Johnson was Iowa's leading receiver, catching 2 passes for 73 yards, and also led the team in rushing with 45 yards on 17 carries. Nebraska finishes the 2024 season at 6-6 and will await bowl game placement in the coming weeks. First quarter. Nebraska's defense looked strong early, forcing a long third down and getting off the field. The offense, led by Raiola, drove efficiently down the field but stalled in the red zone, settling for a 31-yard field goal from John Hall, giving the Huskers a 3-0 lead. The defense held Iowa to 0 first downs and only 10 total yards in the first quarter. Second quarter. The Huskers' defense remained dominant in the second quarter, while the offense put together a 12-play, 74-yard drive that ended in a 1-yard touchdown run from Dowdell, extending Nebraska's lead to 10-0 at halftime. Nebraska's defense held Iowa to just 20 total yards and no points in the first half, limiting the second leading rusher in the country, Johnson, to just 16 yards on 10 carries. Raiola completed 10 of 14 passes for 96 yards, while Johnson rushed for 46 yards on 9 carries. Third quarter. Nebraska started the third quarter with an 11-play, 65-yard drive, but a missed field goal from Hall gave Iowa possession. The Hawkeyes punted, and a mistake from Nebraska's Vincent Shavers Jr. led to a fumble recovery by Iowa inside the Nebraska 5-yard line. Iowa settled for a 20-yard field goal, cutting the lead to 10-3. Fourth quarter. On the first play of the fourth quarter, Stratton threw a swing pass to Johnson, who turned it into a 72-yard touchdown to tie the game at 10. Both teams exchanged drives, but on Nebraska's final possession, Raiola was sacked and fumbled the ball. Iowa recovered and set up Stevens for the game-winning 53-yard field goal, securing a 13-10 victory. Looking ahead. Nebraska concludes the season at 6-6 and will wait for its bowl game assignment. The Huskers, finishing 13th in the Big Ten, have now dropped 5 of their last 6 games, while Iowa improves to 8-4 on the season.